Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Coding Chamber. This is going to be the first episode of a series of tutorials that's going to be taking you through how to program and how to program more specifically in Python. And so, usually programming tutorials start off, they immediately get to the IDE or the environment in which you program, and they immediately get into syntax. What I'm going to do is, I don't think that's going to be a lasting impact. I don't think that's going to. I'm going to start with just basic written code and just take you through some really basic concepts. So the first concept I'm going to talk about is the variable. And a variable is simply, you can use the analogy of a box. It's like a box, and you can put stuff in this box. Some good examples are, say, letters or strings, as we refer to them in programming, numbers, maybe floating point numbers or decimals, something like that. And so they would store some piece of data that I might want to use later on in the program. So say I have a variable, and let's call my variable, in this case, let's just call it var. Right, so it's my variable var. And my variable var has, say, the value of 1. Okay, so it's just 1. And so say I'm running my program, which I'll talk about in a minute. I'm running my program and I need to get that number. I can just simply reference var and the number will be there. Right, so it's just a simple way to store data that I might need to use later on in the program. So that leads us to the next most common thing. What is a program? So very simply, a program is simply a series of steps. So for example, like telling a computer how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The program would say have a series of steps. Say, take out the bread. Say, unscrew the jelly. Right? And obviously, this is not actually what programming looks like, but it's a good analogy. It's called written word programming or something like that along those. It's just a way to, and what I'm doing here is, so this is what pretty much programming is. It's a series of steps that you can logically follow. And for this example, this program is really unspecific, and a computer relies on specificity. So this would not be a good program. But that's what a program is. And so I think the next concept we're going to talk about is, maybe if-else statements. That would seem the next logical step. I know we're kind of going quickly here, but I'm just trying to cover some basic ground, and then I'll go over them again. So an if-else statement is simply, it's what is known as a conditional. And so a conditional, it simply says, okay, if, here, it's like, it says, okay, if I have my, written word thing, it says, okay, if something is true, then do this. If it's not true, else, or otherwise, do this. Right? So it checks if something is, it checks against something, say, so it checks if something is true, and if it is true, it runs a bit of code, and then if it's not true, then it does some other bit of code. And it's a very useful tool because it allows program to be versatile and react to stimulus or changing input. Right, where if we didn't have this, we would, say, have a linear program where we would have some set input, that's supposed to be I, and then we get some set output. Right, but now we have some, variability within there. Right, so say we get some set input, or say we have some changing input, and we get out different outputs for those different inputs. So that's what an if-else statement affords us as a piece of code. It's really useful. I think going to leave this video here. In the next video, I'm going to talk about another huge concept, functions, and then finally in the third episode, I'm actually going to get to talking about syntax, how to download the thing, and other stuff like that. So, thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe, do such.